Yeah, too much volcano, not enough gardening. I had one of the viewers ask me if I would walk around and do an update on the pineapples. I thought that was a pretty good idea. Plus, I just been wanting to walk around the garden, period. No more lava for this afternoon, eh? This pretty little shrub right here is Grumachama, Eugenia brasiliensis. It's in the fruit at the moment. Fruits look like that guy right there. Kind of like a cherry. Resemble a cherry in the mouth too, as far as that's concerned. There's quite a few of them coming on, and we have a lot of flowers in the bush. Now, I have one problem with Grumachamas, and it's that the cardinals kill their little red butts. I tear at them. I recently bought some more net to protect myself from this. But the good news for the rest of you, since I haven't put the net up yet, is that if there's anybody here interested in growing Grumachamas and need the seed, I'm going to put it up on the website. We have enough of it, and whether the birds peck them or not, the seeds are still good. So that's good, and I will get around to getting that net over it, which is what I had to do over here with the blueberries. It was impossible. Oy! Don't like those birds. My tamarillos, the Cyphomandra betacea, they're coming ripe. Things kind of leaning over here, but we got lots of fruit in it. Pretty soon, I'm going to put these seeds up on the site too. This variety is a new one from New Zealand that is not as acidic as the typical old-fashioned Cyphomandras. It has a flavor to me that is really very much like a tomato. I've had people tell me, oh no, I love those acid ones. Well, I tell you, they're nasty. You can't do nothing with those. This thing, you can eat it just like a tomato. Crop's good. They're coming on nice. It's a little smaller than the acid ones, I remember, but doesn't matter much, I guess. Now, this is an excellent replacement for the tomato in eastern Hawaii, because the tomato gets so many diseases. This thing, a little chewing from the slugs, but I haven't even noticed the birds eating the fruit. So, good news, huh? So there's one group of the white pineapples that were put in back in September and October of 2016. There's another angle on them. They're doing good. They're growing right nice. There's right down there in the corner for some reason or another. Who knows? We're getting a fruit. There are a few fruits forming in there, but I'm actually not expecting this batch to really start fruiting until fall 2019. That's my anticipation on this. The lilikoi hedge is beginning to bloom. Christopher Shine and I put in. That was November 2016, I believe. Doing well. Hoping to get a large crop off of it this year. It is one large hedge of lilikoi, so if it starts fruiting, we're going to have to start selling lilikoi. There's a 3-year-old row of habanero chilies. For me, the only sad part of these is they're so darn hot. I just wish that I had some sweet peppers that would hold up like this. When I finally get my hands on them, I'm going to try some of the sweet habanero forms. All the pineapples from 2016 and backwards have green fruit in them at the moment. A few of the better ones from 2017 also have a little fruit. Not a lot though, just a few of the plants. The weird pineapple farm is looking good. So far, only these crazy abrasive pink guys over here that you could saw a board with their leaf. And these two that are Florida landrace are also producing fruits. I was hoping to do some crosses, but this Florida pineapples look like they must be parthenocarpic, because I never saw a flower come out of any one of them, yet they are making a fruit. Here we have a bunch more pineapples, all put in last fall. None of them fruiting, all of them growing fine. We finished the weeding up here, and so they're pretty clean. It's time to get down to feeding now that I don't have weeds to feed. around 180 degrees behind me. There's one more row of them over here, put in last fall. We stopped putting them in here because the grass was still too fluffy, too vigorous underneath this weed mat. It's getting dead now, and so as we come to harvest time now on the pineapples this year, we are going to take most of the offsets and run them in here. This is going to be a pretty massive planting of white pineapples. We're ready for them this fall. Here's some really good strong ones. Now these were put in somewhere along the line between 2016 and 2017. Most of these are not fruiting at the moment, but they look great. Here's a whole beautiful row from 2016 that does have fruit on every one of the plants. Nice large ones, looking good. It's going to be a nice crop on that row. Out here I've got mixed pineapples of all sorts of different ages. We're put in here now and then over the years. The whole works is fruiting. Lots of pineapples coming here. Pineapples coming over there. They're all over the place. And honestly, we have done some dividing in here. This row over here is really producing nicely. This was a row of Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, and Jamaican Blue Mountain hated me, so I cut it all down, and the pineapples that were between popped back up in the sunlight and went, "Oh, we love you, we're going to grow," and they did, and they are covered in pineapples. This is one forgiving fruit, man. I love the pineapple. I like it almost as much as the true apple. I mean, wow, what a fruit. Plant it like a potato, kind of stand back, look out. There's one there a little ahead of its buddies. I actually did find a ripe one the other day. I had a couple of them out here that are sort of out of sync that are getting close. We'll have a few pineapples before fall. That right there is what happens if a pig finds your pineapple. There's another one right here, a big chunk out of the bottom. Well, I tell you, if that pig wasn't laying dead out there on the highway right now, I'd throw this pineapple and I'd beat him with that pineapple. I don't like that. Damn. So on the way back down the hill here, yeah, you kind of see the edge of the planet out there as it tips. So the air is improving this afternoon. You can see there on the pigeon peas, they're moving. We're getting a breeze. And it's easterly. It's very good. It's going to clean us up. Things aren't too bad. It's looking real good around here for us. Now over here I got the Kobo, perennial Japanese green onion. A successful row of carrots, my first successful row in Hawaii. Nematodes destroyed all the previous plantings. This time I tried a different approach. Put a big trench in the ground, filled it with about 4 inches of potting soil, planted the carrot seeds in the potting soil. I guess the nematodes didn't like the organic matter and didn't come near the carrots. The carrots got a chance to push out and grow. I've eaten a few of them and they're doing all right. Cabbages are just about harvested off here, but the few that I've got left in the row still looking good. The few that have been harvested off are now producing multiple heads. So I'm getting triple heads here. That's the Toscana or dinosaur kale. It's doing fine. Row of pineapples right in the middle of the garden there. Everywhere is cave squash. That is the kabocha pumpkin that was under the weed block and survived. So it came back out and it's growing all over the garden. No need to replant this beast. The Godzilla squash. One very happy papaya I put in last year, sizing up nicely. You'll notice I set it right on the edge of a cut from the bulldozer here. Make sure the drainage is good. I'm having less problems with Phytophthora that way. Oh, Williams bananas coming on over here. Didn't notice that till just now. Now, if we get real lucky, the wind won't crack those stalks over before that ripens, I hope. Right here in the foreground, we've got peanuts. Celery over there behind it. Little Roselle here. This area is a brand new planting of sweet corn. Yesterday, the day before, I can't remember, I put that out here. They're going back a little over a week or so. Popcorn, robust, a hybrid form of Japanese hulless. The ever-present pigeon peas, making their excellent green manure. You can see green manure stick mulch from the pigeon peas surrounding a golden nugget tangerine. And we got sweet onions, peppers, eggplants, a few of last year's peppers over there. Underneath the floating row cover is my Triple Crown blackberry. I have high hopes for this. It was one of my favorite blackberries on the mainland. And I can get Natchez to grow well here, but I don't like the fruit that much. This one, I love the fruit. But the rose beetles, they adore it, and they gobble the leaves off, so I've covered it up, keep them off. I'd use the Christmas tree lights like I did on persimmons and apple trees, but I've run out of them. Need Christmas to come back. And over here is a recently harvested row of red Russian kale. Does really well here. And again, more of the cave squash ranging out of control everywhere. And also this perennial lima bean, which doesn't seem to want to go away either. Here's a brand new planting right in the dead sod of sweet potatoes on the outside and Roselle, or the fruiting hibiscus, on the inside here. Oh, look! Cave squash making a squash. Yowza. There's a leftover Portugal hot pepper from last year that is starting to reflower well. This is one tough little pepper. It's kind of spicy, but it's a tough little pepper. Over there you can see yellow tomato flowers. Those are cherry tomatoes. I believe that's a new grape one from Johnny's. It's called Valentine. It's doing pretty well, considering tomatoes get nailed terrible by disease here. But I still plant them in the open ground. I have some under cover too, but they do okay in the open ground. They usually survive me. Green beans mixed with alfalfa and perennial peanut. Over here we've got onions and cherry tomatoes, marigolds to repel nematodes, a few green beans. Right here is a combination of carex or sedge weeds, stalks from sweet corn cut down for mulch, and then underneath I had planted arugula as a weed. Arugula is one of those amazing vegetables here because we do have problems on salad greens with the rat lungworm. But nothing eats or touches arugula except for people. I've gotten quite fond of it. I think it's pretty good when you mix it with lettuce and endive and other salad greens. It's pretty strong stuff, but it's a good green, and the slugs won't eat it. And I can plant it like a weed. Over here you see it's sown in amongst all the weeds that came up under the corn. Here's a fairly successful planting of sweet onions. Sweet onions, the myna birds pulled up some of them. You can always tell them little son of a guns have been around because they leave them darn palm seeds, that thing's sitting there. I couldn't get perennial alfalfa to grow very well here on the island, but Johnny Selected Seeds has a form that they called annual alfalfa, which here appears to kind of be more perennial, but this variety has worked. Right here it's all mixed. This had been sweet corn in the past. Right now it's mixed with perennial peanuts, annual alfalfa, green beans over here, and then there at the end of it we got broccoli going. New papayas right here. That one's exotica. People have been asking me for plants for this one, and we're going to have to wait until it starts to make seeds. That's the only one I've got. Papayas don't necessarily do well for me because of the cool conditions up the mountain here, but some of them take and they grow. This one has. Well, folks, that's the size of the garden tour for today, and I hope that was enough of a look at the pineapples for the guys who are interested in those. Usually I use a tripod, but today we're going to do a selfie. Aloha, y'all have a wonderful time, and hey, hang loose.